What's up everybody? So we're back out in the shop with another daily vlog, and guys, it's time to start shaping these handle scales. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at them. There we go. This gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. Of course, we've still got a lot of shaping to do, some contouring. There is going to be some material removed here, so this isn't going to be as tall right there or as thick right here as it looks. It is going to start thinning out a little bit, and it'll start matching this, which is pretty cool how this curve here matches this curve. I like the overall shape of this. Now, one of the things that I'm going to have to work on is figuring out exactly how I want to contour this area, because I know that we're going to try and make it to where it's comfortable to choke up on it, but also be back here. So we're going to mess with that as we start making this and shaping it and doing all that stuff. But let's go ahead, let's jump into it, see how it turns out. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get the excess pin material cut off. We're just using the porta band saw to do this. Sit there and grind them down on the belt grinder. And then right here, I'm just flattening the little bit of pin material that was left. You don't want to cut all the way to the handle scales whenever you do that, because you might end up gouging the handle scales, and then you gotta sand it past that, and it just turns into a big headache. But right here, we are getting the handle scales smoothed down to where they're even with the steel on the handle tang itself. And I am using a 60 grit ceramic belt to do this. Now we're going to go ahead and use the oscillating spindle sander, also known as a drum sander. You can get a lot of this stuff done if you have a small wool attachment on a 2x72. Like I say pretty often, I really like using this oscillating spindle sander. But we're just going around the whole entire thing and smoothing it out. This makes everything real square and real smooth. And right here, we're going to be using the smaller wheel attachment to be able to get inside these finger choils. And both of these are 80 grit drums, the larger one and the smaller one that you see right here. And they put a beautiful finish on the knife. Now what we want to do is start contouring the handle scales. Start rounding them, smoothing them out, trying to really get that handle to be as comfortable as possible. And this is my first time doing a handle this way, to where it's wrapped around two finger choils. I mean, it was kind of interesting trying to figure out how I wanted to shape this and make it to where it was smooth and comfortable without making the material too thin and too small. Especially using this material that's already thin from the get-go. Because if you remember, the black G10 on here is only an 1/8 inch thick. So, and then the blue G10 liners are even thinner than that. And I will leave links in the description for both of those liners and the handle scales. I got them from Texas Knife Supply. But we just kind of go through here and put a little bit of a rounded edge all the way around the handle scales. We don't have to do a bunch of crazy contouring on this because the scales are not very thick, so you don't have to have all those extra shapes. What I will do is taper where I'm going to be putting the lanyard. This just makes it to where it's more comfortable after you install the lanyard on the knife itself. So you don't have this real big bulky area on a handle that's meant to be thin and sleek. Now we're going to take a 120 grit belt. We're just going to start smoothing out the spine area, getting rid of any imperfections with the grind lines. And then we're going to put a little bit of a rounded edge on the top part of the handle scales to make it match the rest that we've already done. Now we're going to go ahead and start contouring the handle to where it's a little bit thinner towards the base of the handle or the bottom where your fingers wrap around. And now we go to the hand sanding phase of this, which this had a lot of hand sanding. I probably hand sanded for about, I'd say easily an hour and a half, 2 hours. I went with the 320 grit and then went up to 500 grit and then 800 grit and finished it at 800 grit. Right now I'm using the 360 grit. And then we're just kind of working on getting everything smoothed out, rounded out, and getting any grind lines taken out, sanded out. This G10 is real easy to work with when it comes to sanding. I absolutely like that aspect of it. I just wish it wasn't as messy as it is. You need to pay attention to whenever you're sanding the sides. You want to go one direction so that any sand lines that are in your pins are all one direction and real easy to buff out. And this thing feels absolutely amazing in the hand. Now it's time to go ahead and give everything a good buff. We're using a green compound on a fine wheel. We're going to go all the way around the knife. We're going to do the handle. We're going to concentrate on the pins and get the pins nice and polished. We're going to make sure the spine and belly of the knife itself is all polished. And then we are going to end up buffing the blade as well. But we are spending a lot of time focusing on getting the handle as buffed and smooth as possible. Because pretty much everything stands out on black. Just be careful whenever you're doing the polishing on the blade so you don't accidentally catch something and sling this blade straight into your stomach or your arm, because even though it's not sharpened yet, it is still very pointy. Alright guys, let's go ahead and wrap up today's daily vlog with a little bit of this. So check that out. I mean, I know that the handle scales don't stand out a ton with them being black, and it's all layers of black, so the contouring is a little different. But whenever you start turning it and you start seeing how it is tapered through here, contoured around here, tapered in the back around the lanyard hole, right there. And I love that it drops down right here. This is something that I wanted to do for a little while. I thought that because I was going to do this handle scale so large up here, that this was a perfect time to do it. Of course, those blue G10 liners really stand out. Love the way this blade feels. Whenever you choke up on it right here, it is so comfortable. There's no hot spots. You just feel it right there. So whenever you need to get in there and do some fine work, you can. And then whenever you need to pull back here and just get a full grip on it, you can do that as well. For when you need to chop or really get some force behind something. Absolutely, again, love the shape of this. I like all the contours and curves that this knife has compared to some of the other ones that I've done in the past. Guys, what we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to be putting an edge on this thing. We're going to chop some things. We're going to have so much fun with that. I'm excited to see how this holds up edge retention wise. And guys, if y'all would, y'all give this a thumbs up. Share this video or a video I've done in the past that might be your favorite or maybe your favorite playlist. And if y'all would, let's go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified of when we put the edge on this. Man, that's going to be so cool. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending y'all's time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. And I'll catch y'all next time.